Previously on The Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky the Third. Both of you, stop it! Stop it! Dude, finally, yes! Tina did something! She's like that little puppy that was puts the hands up, it's like, stop fighting! And now back to... rapidly returning to the series! Hello! NicoB! Back with some more The Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky the Third. When we last left off, oh boy, who we got in this little gem rolled here? Could it be Kurt? Or maybe Kilika? Or maybe some other people? And oh my god, it's the Demon Jaw with a giant robot! But that's okay, because Estelle's hugs heal everything. Except maybe a bunch of trauma, because she still doesn't really like us. But she secretly does. And thankfully, Tina has healing tears also, which basically, come on, you can't stay mad at each other when Tina's crying, all right? You just can't. So Ren joins our party, and apparently alongside Richard, they are like the strongest characters in this game. I initially didn't see it. Ren seemed kind of bad to me, because her crafts are only okay, but no, her arts though, she's actually the best arts wielder in the game. Well, I mean, Richard, look at this bitch. Look at him just go, 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 go. You don't get to attack, only I get to attack. Which, yes, we managed to make our way all the way to the end of the current play. I don't even know what number we're at, like the 5th or 6th or something. And I didn't even feel bad about cheesing them with Richard, all right? These spider things were annoying as fuck. They kept sucking up my HP and everything. Heal themselves. Totally not. New Luve comes out and tells us that things are only gonna get harder, which I feel like he said already like 3 times now. But I assume that probably means this next chapter we are going to be getting Kevin back. By the way, you guys put out something. I did a little goof last episode, and someone who pointed that out was Dirty Bird Person, who last episode said, the playful minstrel, oh, that must be Kevin. Olivier slams his lute. Sorry. As some of you realize, I thought it meant minister, but no, minstrel is literally what Olivier is. He sings us jaunty music about our journey and other stupid shit. Sorry, Olivier. It also, in retrospect, would have been kind of weird to have Kevin, because Kevin is like the focus of the main story. I don't know if he's actually gonna get a door here, because we're already getting like everything about him through the main story. So it wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense that he show up here. I'm actually thrilled that Olivier is getting something finally, because I've actually really wanted to see a bit more about what's been going on with him and see just like his interactions maybe back at home, or, well, I don't know. We're probably not gonna see it back at home because we're not getting any of like new areas really. We're probably not gonna see any of Erebonia, but just seeing how he like interacts with like people outside of our group here, you know? Is he the same Olivier, or is he actually like more like his Olivert self, where he sort of pretends to be like someone who knows what he's doing, you know? Or is he even really pretending? It's just another part of Olivier. I don't know. I'm very curious, but it's obviously that door was Olivier and Mueller. But Dirty Bird, thank you so much for pointing out my mistake with a goofy comment and not being an asshole about it. And it's that reason you are comment of the day. But anyway, we're hopping into chapter 6. I'm actually curious if we're still going to be getting folks. Oh, I forgot to even bring up. But yes, at the very tail end of the last episode too. Celeste. I was right. It is, in fact, the ancestor from like a billion years ago on the Oriole that is the spirit we've been seeing. Holy shit. I may not have been able to recognize Chloe as the princess, but god damn it, I managed to figure out this was her ancestor. So what that's going to exactly lead to, I'm not sure. But let's check it out as we hop into chapter 6. Ding dong. Oh, more Kevin flashback.
You've reached the Emerald City Church. How may I help you?
Oh, is that you, Kevin? I didn't think you'd be there already, so I was just going to leave a message with the priest.
Oh, hey, Rufina. Yeah, I got here late this morning.
So we're actually hopping back further, right? Yeah, because we already saw the moment where she died, right? So we're hopping back before that.
How about you? When do you think you'll be getting here?
I'm going to be a little late, I'm afraid. There's been an accident or something, so the train's been delayed. I probably won't be getting there until this evening now.
Gotcha. I'll wait here till you arrive. I think Reese and the kids would get all bent out of shape if I showed up without you.
Oh, please. I'm sure you're just exaggerating. Although, speaking of Reese, I hope you've been thinking about how you're going to cheer her up.
I've got it all planned out. I've been stocking up on souvenirs from every mission I've been going on. Should be enough to snap her out of her funk.
I wouldn't be so sure if I were you. Girls her age are more complex than you think.
Yeah? Guess she's not really a kid anymore now she's 13, but still. Actually, that's about how old you were when we first met, right?
Now that you mention it, it was. How time flies. Sorry, looks like the train's about ready to leave. I'm going to have to go. I'll see you later then, alright? If you get bored of waiting, you're welcome to go on home ahead of me, of course.
Got it. I'll see you later. Man, how time flies this ride. Have I really not been home in 2 years? And I guess that makes 9 since I met Rafina. Hope Reese isn't too grumpy when we finally get there.
Kevin, who is this? Some guy?
What is it, Father? Has something bad happened?
Oh, well, I've just received word that someone spotted a group of men dressed in all black at the edge of town. What's worse, they were supposedly heading for the mountain path.
You don't think?
If they were, Astor House must be their target, I fear. Do you have any idea what could be going on?
I wish I did. I doubt it's anything to do with the grass weather, at least. I think I should go and check it out just in case.
Please do. Oh, and do you know when Rafina's going to be arriving, by the way?
This evening, by the sound of it. She says her train's been delayed. When she arrives, can you let her know what happened? Damn it. Jaegers. Seems like there's anywhere between 5 and 10 of them. What could they want with a gospel facility to begin with? The longer they're allowed to be in there, the more danger the kids are in. I'm going to have to try and handle this alone. It's time to put my combat skills to good use.
Chapter 6, The Guardian's Trials. Hello, great-grandmother?
Celeste? Wasn't that the name we saw in those data crystals?
That's right. According to those, she was the de facto leader of the group of ancients who sealed away the Oriole. She was also the founder of Libero's current royal family.
I'm glad to see the information left behind ended up proving useful to someone. It really did! So then you're really the founder of Libero's royal family? Not technically. I'm not the real Celestia Lace. Think of me as something of a shadow.
Oh.
Or a partial copy her personality created in order to influence Phantasma from within. How can you only be a partial copy? The truth behind you is apparently more complicated than we thought. You don't appear to be a spirit of some kind, though. I see that now. That is correct.
What are you, like a hologram or something? Like a data recreation?
Before I try to explain just what I am, I should probably tell you more about what the world we are in is first. You can do that? This should be interesting. As you are aware, the land in which you stand is called Phantasma. This is a world belonging to a higher plane of existence, created several thousands of years ago by the Oriole.
Really? Created by the Oriole?
Its purpose was to act as a subsystem for the Oriole in order to incorporate and process the will of the Liberox populace.
Okay.
One might call it a self-organized world, designed to realize countless possible others as necessary.
Oh. It's like a place to process different realities, like the different possible like choices or outcomes. Like, okay, if we make this choice, how will that play out? Like, essentially.
Pardon? Hey, you've lost me. Yeah. Is there a simpler way to explain this? Well, while not technically correct, perhaps you could think of it this way. Phantasma is like a fictitious realm created by the Oriole in order to fulfill humanity's every wish and desire. That's better. What exactly qualifies Phantasma as fictitious? I can't help but think it's far too real to be a land of pure fantasy. When I say a fictitious world, I don't mean to suggest that Phantasma is a complete lie. It's more like a shadow graph or a kaleidoscope. It has its own laws and can change to reflect countless different possibilities. Does this make the concept any easier for you to understand? Somewhat, yes.
And suddenly the name Phantasma seems that much more appropriate.
As I stated previously, it was a subsystem of the Oriole, rather than being the Oriole itself, and it helped to grant people's desires. They were separate entities, but effectively like two sides of the same coin. The relationship caught our eye as we were devising the sealing mechanism. You mean the mechanism used to seal away the Oriole? That was also in those data crystals left behind. Exactly. At first, we thought our plan would be impossible to execute. After all, the Oriole had absolute control over space itself and was able to influence mankind's every action. Even after coming upon the idea of temporarily freezing it and imprisoning it with a gravity barrier, we had no way to implement our plans. Without that, they were simply ideas with no real meaning. We were effectively at a total loss.
You had discovered your foe's weakness, but had no way to take advantage of it. That must have been quite the frustrating predicament.
Indeed. Yet our perseverance rewarded us with the development of something that could take advantage of that weakness. The Recluse Cube.
Oh, that thing.
Is that what this is known as, then? Yes. That is the only object in existence able to interact with Phantasma, without relying on the Oriole as an intermediary. Celeste used that to create a partial copy of her personality, that is me, inside Phantasma. And once inside, I began working to sabotage Phantasma's functionality by using this garden as my base of operations.
And you would just exist here forever. God help me!
And as a result of my efforts, the Oriole's processing ability was hindered just long enough for the plan to be executed.
He who catches his foe off guard wins the battle. The same principle applies to martial arts, too.
It sounds like you really put a lot of thought into planning everything. Maybe, but I can't deny that luck played a part in the end. Once the Oriole was sealed away, my work was done, and I fell into a deep sleep here. My reason being that if the Oriole were ever unsealed, I might be able to provide assistance to the people of that time. I'm pleased you've been able to handle it just fine without my help, however. They just saved me for this game instead. Luck's played a huge part for us too, though.
We're not even sure where the Oriole is now. As far as we're aware, it disappeared during all that happened at the Liber Arc. Yeah, I'll be curious if we're like, are we done with the Oriole, or is it actually going to come back again in some way?
I thought as much. I was able to confirm the Oriole's disappearance from within Phantasma too. When I did so, I thought my purpose for existing was finally over, and that all that was left for me in this land was to embrace a slow and peaceful destruction. But that was not to be. Soon the Lord of Phantasma appeared. Ah, so that's when it happened. Quite a recent development, I see. The Lord of Phantasma appeared out of nowhere, stealing all of my power before I was even aware what happened. After doing so, they began to remake Phantasma in accordance to their own designs. But this world's current structure and the plans that make it up were all the Lord of Phantasma's creations.
Looks like your theory was correct, Ren. Still, that makes it sound like... Yeah. So you don't know who that masked bastard is either, then?
I'm afraid not.
You're a fucking weird otherworldly ghost thing, though. Can you, like, I don't know, stick your face in their mask and see through it?
Their every action and thus has been a mystery. Ordinarily, they should not have been able to gain access to this world in the first place. I'm afraid I have no idea what they're trying to achieve by bringing all of you in here and testing you. Well, that's a shame. Yeah, that's the part we want to know most of all. I only wish I could be of more help. The only other thing I can say about them is I suspect the Lord of Phantasma is currently in the 7th plane.
Okay, so there's 2 more. So we're on the 6th, and so the 7th's probably the last one.
There's a 7th? What makes you think that? That was the first plane they created after appearing in this world. Just what kind of place that plane is, I don't know. But I can sense dark and human thoughts from there, and they're spreading out across the whole of Phantasma. That doesn't sound good. Then we'll be seeing them after the next one, won't we?
Yeah. We just finished the 5th when we came back here. Presuming they're waiting for us in the 7th, the time to fight them head on may not be that far off. Heh! I was getting tired of waiting.
As was I. It seems the end may finally be in sight. Now if only we had some sort of inkling as to what the Lord Phantasma is trying to achieve. Actually, I just might.
Father Kevin, you live?
Kevin? You're up!
It's good to see you again, Father.
You too! I was expecting you all, of all people, to get an invitation here. All you, for that matter, little lady.
I'm sure you weren't. I've got something I want to ask you, but I suppose that can wait until later.
For sure.
Are you sure you're feeling all right?
Right as rain. I'm feeling just great. All that sleep must have done me a lot of good. And I see you guys made a whole lot of progress while I was out cold too.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Kevin Graham. Well, maybe I don't need to introduce myself since you seem to know a thing or two about everyone who's come in here so far.
True. I was able to tell what happened at the Liberock from the garden. And out of all the people here, you are the one closest to the truth of what is happening here. Am I wrong? What?
No, I don't think you are. I can't pretend to be much of an expert on what Phantasma itself is, but I got a pretty good idea as to who's responsible for all this. I can only think of one person twisted enough to put us through all we've been through.
Wait, is this someone you know?
You could say that, yeah. The short version is, they're a real piece of work. A cunning, arrogant, cold-hearted son of a bitch who doesn't even see people as people. That about sums up who we're dealing with.
It sounds like a real awful guy.
And who, may I ask, is it that you're talking about? Well, about that. Would you be willing to wait just a bit longer for the answer to that one? I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I'm still missing one last thing that'll let me be completely certain.
We gotta save for a big fucking reveal, right? You can't just tell us here in this random cutscene.
And I think we'll find out just what that is in the 6th plane. And there I thought we finally were going to get an answer.
Is there a reason you can't share your theory as is?
Yeah, I realize I'm asking a lot after we come this so far. But I promise that as soon as I know for sure, I'll talk. I swear on the goddess's name and on the church's emblem.
Well, I mean, it's pretty clear who the other person is, right? I mean, Lord Phantasma, I've no idea, but the fucking other person is Luve, obviously. But I'm curious, like, if there's gonna be like somebody that, like, maybe the person that was responsible for like killing Rufina or something, you know? Oh, well, I don't see any reason to say no.
Likewise, he's clearly got his reasons. So also often he asks us for favors, so I can let it slide. No problem here. If he says wait, I'll wait.
I feel as though we can trust your judgment, Kevin, so I have no objections either.
But me neither. I don't really care as long as I get to have my fun. I believe we're all in agreement then.
Yep, consider this one settled.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Anyway, now that I'm up, I'm also down to take the lead again. And I'd appreciate it if you back me up.
No problem. Seems like we're all ready to move on. While you're advancing through the 6th plane, I'll do what I can on my end to find out more about the 7th. Of course, if you need my support, I'll be happy to provide it through the cube and the monuments as I always have.
Now you mention it, we haven't really thanked you for all the help you've given us since we got here, have we? Thanks, Celeste. We couldn't have done this without you.
We truly are in your debt. Please think nothing of it. I am but a shadow, placed here with a duty to fulfill. I believe helping you to be a part of that duty. If I may, allow me to help you however I can.
Will do. Sorry for worrying you too, Reese, but I'm fine, just fine now. So please, just leave everything to me. I'm begging you.
Only if you promise me one thing.
What is it?
I won't make you promise not to put yourself in danger, or to overdo it. But don't do anything that would make Rufina sad.
You really know how to hit a guy where it hurts, don't you?
So, will you promise?
Yeah, I promise. I swear on her name, I won't. Oh, really? I can pick anybody? It doesn't have to be Reese? Well, that's interesting.
It's kind of wrong to not have her with us, though. Not gonna lie.
Here we go! Oh, she's gonna hang out here, huh?
I am myself am but a shadow, bound by the laws of Phantasma. As such, I'm afraid I'm limited in what I can do. I'll be sure to do all I can to support you in your efforts.
Thanks, ma'am.
So what makes Ren Good. Yeah, so apparently is actually her art stuff, which is pretty high. Is it actually higher than even Olivier? It is. He's got Crimson Eye equipped. Well, granted, I actually put Crimson Eye on her as well. And he is also technically 9 levels lower than her. But the thing that makes her unique, right, and why she's so good, is because she's literally just one solid line with no restrictions, right? Chloe, it also has a one solid line, but she's like, you have to use at least like 3 water gems, you know? And unlike her, I can just go crazy. So, yeah, it's pretty fucking good. But apparently, I think our cast time as well is just also insanely fast. Hey, someone was saying something kind of cool earlier. Is this place perfect for martial arts training? I might not be in the same combat style as him, but I'm gonna say no to a chance to get stronger. Say, you wanna join me for some spotlight, Zen?
Ha, sure thing. Smelling over all Celeste told us about Phantasma earlier. It's strange to think we suddenly ended up in a world that's part of a higher plane of the universe. Thinking about it, this place is probably perfect for martial arts training. It's like being at the top of a tall mountain isolated from the world.
I suppose so.
Oh, Joshua? Something that's kind of bugging me.
Oh, right. I think I know what you must be talking about.
Yeah. So then, you think one of the trials?
Most likely, yes. Go have to make sure I'm prepared. Ah. They already are fucking aware of who it is. They're not that stupid. Thank God. And Ren there also reacted, which was nice. Okay, good. I'm so glad. I'm like, guys, it's so fucking obvious. Why does nobody say anything? They know who it is. Girl talk.
Oh, Kevin! Are you feeling okay now? When are you going collapse again after you've only just recovered?
Come on, Stell. I'm indestructible. Pretty swell timing on my part before, huh? I didn't even get to say hi before I fell unconscious now, did I?
Indeed. Everyone was shaking their heads with disappointment when you collapsed. You're supposed to be a Dominion, but you wouldn't believe it from that shifty show of weakness. Pretty sure everyone was just panicking, especially you, Reese.
Oh, Reese. So, how are things going between you and the others? Get along?
Yeah, we are. We had the chance to get to know one another better while you were asleep.
That's good, I guess.
I fully expect you to keep your promise with me, however. If you dare break it, you're going without food for a week.
Ouch. I think you spared me that one. Oh, I fucking knew it. I knew this was going to show up here. Oh, man. So if I really wanted to, I could literally read the entirety of the Doll Knight, which is 21 chapters. Chapters are kind of short. Oh, very short, actually. Maybe I'll do it one episode. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. Some of you guys said you were okay with potentially doing that, but that would potentially take up an entire episode. Or at least half of one. I don't know. We'll see. I had a feeling it was going to show up at some point.
I understood the gist of what Celeste was saying, but that doesn't really explain why there are all these books here. Especially so many of them. Something's not clicking with me. Oh, look at this weird one.
Weird one? What's it called?
From Fat to Fit. By Gilbert Stein.
What?
These books really are weird.
Is that R. Gilbert? And by R. Gilbert, I mean the fucking worst Gilbert. Did he really write a book about that? Or is that a different? I don't even know what his last name is.
It's like a trick of them are so weird too. The more time I spend here, the more it feels like it couldn't be a collection of someone I put together manually.
Did Gilbert just come in here and like hijack this? I don't know. I don't want to think about him.
It really just make no sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure what Celeste's saying is the truth, but it all seems so weird. Well, whatever. There's no point in me worrying about it. Let's try and help the princess here. It's almost startling how many books are here. They don't seem to be arranged in any specific order, though. I want to think that there's more to the bookcase than meets the eye.
So, Father, how are you feeling now? Fine, thanks. Sorry about worrying you guys so much.
Oh, don't be. I wasn't there to see you collapse, so I was simply curious how you were doing. If not even Celeste knows how the Lord Phantasma managed to get in here, not sure any amount of speculating is going to let us reach the answer.
Never imagined that would be the origin of the cube we've been relying on this time. At least now we understand how we came to be drawn in here, to a degree. Seems like the one directly responsible for that happening was the Lord of Phantasma, too. Can't wait to make them pay for what they've done.
Look at Olivier just sitting here staring at Mueller. Hello, Kevin. Sure seems like you've got quite a lot on your mind. I don't force you to tell us everything, but given that we've all been caught up in this, I think it's fair to expect some kind of explanation. You'll get one, I promise. Hope you don't mind waiting a little bit longer. I can appreciate that someone in your line of work will have plenty of things they can't speak of freely. But given that we've all been caught up in this, I think it's fair to expect some explanation eventually.
I never would imagine the very ghost who aided us all this time was an ancestor of the Liburlian royal family. Still, I can hardly imagine a more reassuring revelation. I'd like to think that with their help, we may be able to compete against the Lord of Phantasma after all.
Annalise, are you over here like gawking after these two cuties? Or are you telling them a goofy Annalise story?
What? You got that really rare Landmore limited edition plushie? God damn it! I will kill you for it! I really want that one too. You're so lucky.
Annalise, I think she's probably the one least bothered about what's going on here out of all of us. That's why I love Annalise, dude. Annalise is the best. He's fucking great. He's just so fucking goofy. He's like the most Ashina-ass Ashina character ever since Ashina, you know? Like, his voice is so perfect for her, and it makes me so happy.
I was all set to going out and get that one when it came out. Then the speech child came out, and all of a sudden, and I couldn't get out, go out and buy it. Damn it all! I got lots of plushies. My room's full of them. I wish I could show you them. So then I decided to give him a name. I raised a cat once before too, you know. First I called him a steel cougar, if I recall. That doesn't sound like the kind of cat I'm thinking of.
Oh, I just realized this thing's full now. Wait, did I actually? I did fill it up. I thought there'd still be at least room for one more, but I think this actually might end up being the full cast here. There might not be any more ceiling stones, unless it can scroll down, which is, I suppose, possible. I think it's because it actually let me take, the reason why I did, that's right, because now it actually has let me take Reese out of my party, where before it wouldn't let me do that.
Let's go.
Great, I can't take Kevin out. All right, so I really want to check out Olivier's here. I've actually been looking forward to Olivier getting his own door for quite some time. So it's funny that when it happened, I didn't even realize it was his door. Briefly, the playful minstrel, not minister, and his closest ally against the beast they seek to overcome. Only then shall the door open. All right, get in there, you two. Have some good old Olivier Mueller adventures here. All right, memory fragment blessing. How about a cool new gun? Or a sexy lady? Or a sexy boy? You shut up. 1 month after the collapse of the Liber Arc, the banquet to celebrate the crisis successful resolution was over, with Stella and her friends having largely left the capital to go elsewhere. One of them, however, Prince Oliver Rice Arnor, sat rather uncomfortably in the ambassador's office in Gransel's Erebonian embassy. His work in the country not quite settled. I can't believe that you... Actually, I don't know who's talking. I was thinking it might be Mueller, but... I mean, my deepest apologies for not noticing that you were His Highness Prince Oliver sooner. Oh. Ha! Oh, that's right. Because I was like... that was the question I asked. I'm like, wait, how did the ambassador guy not know? Because he's a fucking bastard and nobody gives a shit about him, right? Oh, I'm not surprised you never realized. I may be a prince, but my mother was a commoner. What point is there in bothering to remember my face? It's not as though I often show myself in the palace or attended high society gatherings. Knowing me certainly isn't going to help you in moving up the ranks, my friend.
There's no need to be so humble, Your Highness.
Besides, I'm actually rather grateful to you, Ambassador. You gave me all kinds of useful advice during my stay here at the embassy that I'm sure will be to my benefit in the future. Yeah, see, this was the thing, like, because he knew about him, right? Like he was already was acquainted with Olivier at that point, because Olivier had been here for some time before even Estelle ran into him, right? So he was like giving so much shit. I'm like, does this guy know who he is? Like, really is? And he didn't, which makes a lot of sense, because he definitely would not have been doing that otherwise. Well-meant words such as act like a man of the Empire for once in your life, and stop idling here, go home and try doing something some damned work.
Your Highness, I was only... Your Highness, I think you've tormented him enough for one day. The ambassador behaved in the same way any other sane man would in his position. If anything, I'd say he has every right to be angry at us for keeping the truth from him for so long. But Mueller...
I suppose you're right. I'll spare him any more teasing for now. I actually wasn't joking about being grateful to you, though. You truly have done admirable work over the past month.
I have?
Acting as a pipeline with the Empire, checking the safety of Erebonians residing in Liberl, helping the international liner service to resume. And those are only the tip of the iceberg. You've done so much more. You have my deepest thanks as a prince of the Empire.
I am not worthy of such praise, Your Highness. You, however, deserve the utmost for braving the danger you did flying up to the Liberarch. All of what happened seems to have caused quite the commotion in our homeland. Some of the people seem to be rather relieved that they know the danger has passed. It's all thanks to your courage that they are able to rest easy.
Oh, there's no point in flattering me, Ambassador. I just did what I could. Nothing more, nothing less. And I couldn't have done anything alone. All I was able to accomplish was thanks to the help of those around me. I'm fairly removed from the stereotype of Erebonians as stern, strong, and self-sufficient, if I do say so myself.
As true as it may be to agree, perhaps you're correct. And yet I believe your willingness to be flexible most definitely helped, rather than hindered you here. I believe people like you are exactly what the Empire is going to need in the future. Regardless of how I may feel about His Excellency, the Chancellor's approach. Ambassador.
Well, this is a surprise. I was under the impression that you supported the Chancellor. Then again, you are noble. Does that lead you to oppose his reformist policies, perhaps?
I may be a noble on paper, but I am only a baron. All in all, I generally fall in favor of his reformist policies. Be that as it may, while this may just be the result of being in Liberl for so long, and being influenced by the ways of its people, I do sometimes find myself becoming frightened by his hardline approach.
Now, see, I'm really curious about this, because they've been bringing up this Chancellor guy for a while now, right? And I wonder when we're really going to dig into him in particular, right? Because this definitely feels like setting up a lot of stuff here, right? And like, what exactly is this? Is the policy just so like his policy is seemingly right? The policy that has sort of pushed Erebonia for years of just like aggression, essentially. I mean, right? That's sort of what I'm getting. Versus Liberl, which has a bit more like individual freedom.
I can't help but wonder exactly what direction he's trying to take our old nation.
Interesting.
Your Highness.
Oh, I was just thinking that I'm quite glad that I've taken the chance to engage in such fruitful talk with you just before departing the country. I pray you will continue doing all you can to ensure the peace of Liberl and its surrounding nations while I'm gone. Preferably in cooperation with Ambassador Cochrane.
Yes. Let's not forget her, I suppose. Still, it's true that since the non-aggression pact was signed, there has been some progress with regards to the crossspell problem.
Oh, I mean, we're talking crossspell shit now. By the way, you guys had brought up too that technically they did bring up crossspell previously, that I think Joshua had been there I think the thing was, I think at the time, I think I wasn't fully informed or was aware that the next games took place in Crossbell. So I didn't make the connection then. I think you guys had sort of informed me from then until now that, oh yeah, the next arc is the Crossbell arc. So that's why I sort of reacted that way. I was like, oh, okay, because, you know, it's like you don't make the connection or put two and two together until you have that information. So when they say it to you, you're like, oh, is that new? But technically it was information we had before. It just didn't stick.
And given that it was LeBeau who proposed said pact, makes my role in future negotiations very important indeed. I presume that is what you are trying to say.
You are a sharp one, my good man. Excellent. Now I can return to the capital with my mind at ease.
Leave everything here to me, Your Highness. I'll be looking forward to hearing what you achieve back in our homeland.
This was already off to a great start. Holy shit. Olivier is always so interesting, dude. Like, legit, I could take a fucking whole spin-off game about this man. You know? Him and Mueller Adventures. This truly is a country like no other. I never thought the day would come when I would hear things like that from a noble of the Empire.
Indeed. He's apparently somewhat less of an obstinate man than I thought he was. Perhaps this nation's very air has the power to genuinely change people.
It seems to have had effect on you, too. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more smiles from you these days than I used to.
I'm loath to admit it, but that may well be true. I still find myself wishing that you would learn from Liberlian's dignity and sense of restraint, however. Two qualities you don't particularly possess in many measure. In fact, you have far too much of their opposites.
You say that, but these qualities are the only weapon that I have. I don't have much that will allow me to compete against the Chancellor. I need to use what little happens to be tucked in my corner as best I can. Have there been any changes to our plans?
None. We should be able to proceed as arranged. 3 days ago, the Chancellor left the capital on tour of Eastern Erebonia. Tomorrow, you will be returning there aboard the Arsai while he's still out in the east. All those who need to be made aware of our return have been given proper notice. Your arrival in Erebonia will make a real impact. Of that I am certain.
What potential obstructions to the plan are there at present?
Nothing major. There have been some movements in the Intelligence Division's 4th subdivision, but not much. There's a chance that everyone is being cautious because the Arsai is involved. But I put greater odds in the idea that everyone is just treating this as a pompous performance by you and not taking it seriously.
Well, they'd be right too! It is! I've no choice but to start here, even if this means I have to use LeBeau. And if I'm going to put on a show, why not put on the finest one the skies have ever seen?
Suppose I can't argue that.
Sorry to trouble you at this late hour, Your Highness. A message has arrived for you from Heimdallr. What would you have me do? Really? All right, come in.
Pardon me?
Well, if it isn't... What the fuck? Oh, shit's happening. Things are happening. The guy says his name is just pronounced Lecter. Well, if it isn't Lecter, I was wondering where you've been. I haven't seen you all day. What the hell? Secretary Lecter?
I've been exceptionally busy with work since this morning, I'm afraid. I'd hoped to be able to come and see you earlier since you'll be leaving tomorrow. I'm terribly sorry for not being able to.
Oh, never mind that. If that work of yours is done now, we three could always enjoy some sensual quality time together for the remainder of the night.
So, what was the message from the Capital Secretary?
They've acknowledged receipt of His Highness's message. However, they didn't anticipate that you may be able to arrive all the way from Gransel in less than half a day. As such, they're currently in a minor panic, trying to ensure everything's ready for the ceremony tomorrow.
That doesn't come as a surprise. There's nothing like the Arsai when it comes to speed at home.
How cruel you both are for so deftly ignoring my proposal! Although it sounds as though the stage will be set in time. Now I need to decide on an outfit that will leave everyone's jaws on the floor to sweeten my arrival. Perhaps a glistening coat and white loincloth will do the trick.
That would make a great impact, all right. I almost wish I could go along and see it myself.
Please don't encourage him.
You show remarkable promise for someone so young. What do you say to coming back on the R side with me? I'd welcome your company. Your work in Liberl is just about done as it is, isn't it?
Your offer is certainly tempting, but I'm afraid I have another job to take care of soon. The thought is appreciated, of course.
So does this guy, like, just work at the embassy now? Really? Well, that is a shame. Good luck with that next job of yours. No, I don't know, man. This guy's gonna be significant in later games. I feel like it's just, there's no fucking way we built this guy up. He's just like some doofus employee at an embassy and nothing else. There's no way. After that whole thing with Chloe and everything, and now he's here? No way. Secretary. Secretary to who?
Thank you. Well, if you excuse me.
Doesn't seem to be a bracer, though.
So, that is... Oh, here we go. That is Second Secretary Elector Arundel. Is it safe to assume he's one of the chancellors?
Almost definitely, yes.
What?
He's one of the chancellor's secretaries? Ugh. Is he gonna be a bad guy? I feel like they're setting up the chancellor to be a bit of an antagonist here. He came through Haken Gate on foot and took up his new position at the embassy a month ago. And right around the same time, we headed to the Liber Ark aboard the Arsai at that. Well, to be fair, he seems like someone who kind of goes to who walks to the beat of his own drum here, so, you know. There's no way that could possibly be coincidence.
No, it couldn't. The most likely possibility seems to be that he's part of the intelligence division. Are you sure not doing anything regarding him all this time was a good idea?
Oh, absolutely. We needed some way to find out what the Chancellor was up to after all.
Okay.
We'll probably get some kind of reaction from the Chancellor through his reports at some point. Probably in about 2 weeks when the Chancellor's tour has finished.
You planned that far ahead all along, had you? Well, in that case, I'll be sure that we're ready.
I'll be counting on you, love. Again, I love these because it shows you how smart Olivier actually is, you know?
Oh. Something the matter?
Not really. It's just the moon has come out. And what a beautiful full moon it is.
Beautiful, fuzzy JPEG moon. Strange to think that this will be the last time we'll see the moon from here. Truth be told, I'm going to miss it.
Well, well. Looks like putting a smile on your face a little more often isn't the only thing Liberl's done for you. It's opened up your eyes to life's natural beauty as well. But in all seriousness, we'll just have to do all we can to be able to come back and see it again one day. While we're both still alive.
Indeed.
The next morning. That was over for a second. I was like, no, don't end. This was really good. That's exactly what I wanted, actually. Oh, look at me wearing my duds now. Freaking Cassie's here, too. Your Majesty, Your Highness, I humbly thank you both for your generous hospitality during my stay in your fine kingdom. You were even gracious enough to humor my brazen request of escorting me back to Heimdallr aboard the Arsai. This debt that's a place. Okay, yeah. I think I thought it was a person before. This debt I owe you will be repaid many times over in the future. Rest assured of that. At least I think. Well, I guess it could still delivering me to Heimdallr. Maybe that is a person. Oh wait, no. The Heimdallr is that's the Chancellor's name, isn't it? Is that? Yeah. The way they say it here may sound like it was a location, but I think it might be like, no, this thing dropping him off to the person.
Oh, you needn't think of this as anything we went out of our way for. Escorting an honored state guest back home is a matter of course. Particularly a guest to whom we owe a great debt of gratitude. If you ever have the opportunity, please do come back to Liberl again in the future. I imagine Stella and Josh will be back by then too. So we'll be able to give you a nice warm welcome.
I'm already excited for my next visit. Have they left the country yet, by the way?
They're busy getting ready to leave over in Roland at the moment, I believe. I plan to see them off when the time comes.
I see. Okay, so they have yet to leave on the ship that we saw at the end of the Estelle and Joshua one. Incidentally, while the ruins of Hamel are currently sealed off, I'll do what I can on my end to ensure they are allowed inside. Could I trouble you to pass that along to them?
Certainly. Thank you very much, Your Highness.
Oh, think nothing of it. It's the least I could do after all they've done for me. I owe you a great deal too, Cassius. If not for your assistance, stopping that armored division from crossing into Liberl wouldn't have been as simple as it was.
Ha! I could say the same to you. Still, as I'm sure you're aware, that outcome will have been well within the realm of possibility for the Chancellor. I doubt he was even surprised by the incident.
Really? Most likely not. Erebonia has nothing at all to gain from using that situation to occupy Liberl. Certainly not to the extent that it would be worth going out of their way to develop inefficient steam tanks. The only reason I could see for him doing what he did.
Was this a show of power to surrounding nations? A statement that even without orbital power, Erebonia's army could still act. I see.
So he wasn't really doing it because he really thought he was gonna be able to get in there and occupy Liberl. It was just more just be like, hey, bitch, look, we don't need orbments.
I indeed suspected that was his true aim all along.
Goodness.
So you did notice. The orbital shutdown phenomenon was a complete unknown to the rest of the continent. Perhaps it might never occur again. There's always a chance it might, whether it's here or someone else entirely. I hear the Empire only built a relatively small number of those tanks all in all. They're certainly not enough to launch a full-scale invasion. By the sounds of it, they were just put together in Rhineford's factories using parts intended for standard orbital tanks.
But as it stands, the know-how to put together tanks like that only exists in the Empire. And in these unpredictable times, no other nation has the time or resources to try and develop extremely inefficient steam-powered weaponry. In a sense, because of what just happened, the Imperial Army's effect as a deterrent is even greater than ever. He's using war as a diplomatic tool, and very effectively at that.
None of this had even occurred to me. I have a long way to go before I'm fit to be ruler of this country.
Don't beat yourself up too much about it. He's no ordinary foe to even the most hardened veterans. The Chancellor always seems to be thinking several steps ahead of the rest of the world. It's impressive, no matter what we may think of his actual ideas. Heh, I'm quite the reckless fool to be trying to challenge him, if I do say so myself.
Don't be silly, Your Highness.
How can you say that with such a smile on your face is utterly beyond me?
You should focus on building yourself as a strong foothold to begin with. I do hope you'll be careful. No matter what may occur, be sure not to lose sight of exactly where you stand.
Of course, Your Majesty. If I were to go and bring shame upon myself now, I'd be wasting all the effort involved in escorting me back home. I'll be sure to take what you have said to heart.
Excuse me, Your Majesty!
Oh.
Hilda? Whatever is the matter? It's not so often to see you so flustered. My apologies, Your Majesty. It's just that a guest for you arrived all of a sudden at the castle. Ordinarily, I would not have rushed in while you were meeting with others, but the visitor is so irregular that I thought you should know at once. Irregular? How so?
Sounds like it's about time I take my leave then.
Actually, the visitor said he would like to greet you as well, and not just Her Majesty.
What?
Hilda, just who is this visitor?
Well, he introduced himself as Chancellor Goliath Osborne of the Erebonian Empire.
Oh shit. Oh shit, we about to meet this bitch? Oh shit! Oh, well, okay. Whoa! Major character introduction. And this is the bitch? Damn. Yeah, he looks like not a nice guy. I'm not gonna lie. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna say right now, I think this one right here, this door might be the most valuable door so far. In terms of like important characters and plot connecting stuff. Like, look at this. We're gonna introduce a brand new dude. And we saw Lecter again as well.
It's an honor to be granted a personal audience. I'm Goliath Osborne, representative of the Imperial government.
My apologies for the abrupt intrusion.
So you are Chancellor Osborne.
No, so Heimdall, I don't know. Heimdall is a place or a dude? I'm getting confused. I don't know. I thought it was maybe the chancellor or something. I don't fucking know. I think maybe it was the city then.
And it's a pleasure to see you again as well, Your Highness. It's been a year since we last met, has it not? I hope these passing months have seen you well.
Yes, a year sounds about right.
Still,
But I hope you'll forgive me for asking. Just what did prompt someone of your stature to appear at the castle without warning? I'd very much like to hear your side of the story.
my apologies, Your Highness. You see, these past few days, I've been touring Eastern Erebonia on routine inspections. It's been going very smoothly, more so than I'd initially anticipated. I had enough free time in my schedule to pay a cordial visit.
Oh my, is that so?
Naturally, I would have preferred to come here while the crisis was still unfolding like you yourself did, Your Highness. Unfortunately, the confusion in southern Erebonia was simply too pressing a matter, and I had no choice but to deal with that first. This was the first chance that presented itself to come here and meet directly with Her Majesty, so I acted with the utmost expediency. I hope you'll forgive my lack of proper decorum in failing to give advance notice of my arrival.
That does make sense at least. Regardless, please don't concern yourself with me. No doubt you wish to offer your greetings to Her Majesty.
My thanks, Your Highness.
This guy definitely has a serious case of douche face. He's probably trying to be a real piece of shit, right?
Well then, allow me to extend my most heartfelt greetings to both of you, Queen Alicia and Princess Claudia. It's abundantly clear that the crisis that unfolded here has been quite the ordeal for yourselves and for your nation's people. You have my deepest sympathies for the hardships you have endured, as well as my commendation for bringing the situation under control.
I thank you for your kind words, Your Excellency. If anything, we should be apologizing to you for the fact that the southern side of your nation was caught up in what should have been our problem. We should be the ones going to you, rather than having you trouble yourself to come all the way to Liberl.
A lot of political talk going on here.
I beg you to accept our apologies together with my deepest thanks for coming here today.
I would never ask for apologies. I've heard what happened was the work of a shadowy organization stirring up trouble within your borders. While I meant well by sending a military force to aid you, I wouldn't have done something so careless had I known the truth of the matter. My actions were rash, foolish even, and I was rightfully reprimanded by His Imperial Majesty for them.
Oh, my.
Fortunately, His Highness the Prince was able to act with all due haste to put right my misstep before even greater harm was done. I owe you a great debt of gratitude for that, Your Highness. And congratulations besides, for your part in bringing an end to the crisis.
Oh, I did nothing out of the ordinary. I had a lot of help from Her Majesty, Her Highness, and Brigadier General Bright here too.
Bright, you say?
It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Excellency. I'm Cassius Bright, a Brigadier General in the Liberlian Royal Army.
I think I might be the one person on the planet who's never actually met you. I don't believe it. Ooh, the pleasure is all mine, I assure you. Your name is rather well known even in the Empire.
Not as much as yours is known here in Liberl, I would imagine. It's an honor to be able to speak with you in person. Certainly a surprise to be able to, though. Coming here on a whim couldn't have been easy for a man as busy as yourself. It sounds though I may have underestimated how capable you truly are.
Not at all. I was greatly impressed to see the Royal Army's effectiveness in dealing with the tumult here. Your forces have proven powerful, yet flexible, capable of dealing with emergencies ably and decisively. I might go so far as to say it embodies an ideal that the Imperial Army, with its swollen ranks, could ever hope to realize.
You flatter us, Your Excellency. For your part, are you responsible for the establishment of the Imperial Army's famed intelligence division? Our army is in desperate need of a new one of its own, so I find myself quite envious.
It's almost as though the two of us each want what the other has.
So it does!
May I ask Your Excellency, what will you be doing now?
For my part, I'm intending to leave Liberl today, so I'm afraid I won't be around much longer.
Yes, so I've been told. I believe you're intending to make your grand arrival in Heimdallr aboard the famous Arsai.
Yeah, it's a fucking place.
I'm impressed you're already aware.
I almost wish I could return to Erebonia on aboard it alongside you. But alas, I'm afraid I have other business demanding my attention after I'm finished here. I'll be leaving Liberl separately this afternoon.
That is a shame. I would very much have liked to invite you to this evening's banquet.
Please, you need not go to such troubles on my account. I feel as though I put you out enough showing up unannounced as I did, to say nothing of dining with such esteemed company. Still, I do have some time before the airship I'll be leaving on is due to depart. That being the case, might I ask for a little of your time, Your Highness? I have a few things I'd like to discuss with you personally.
Very well. I have some matters I would actually like to discuss personally with you as well.
What a fortuitous coincidence.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting when we're gonna be like behind closed doors, right?
Allow me to have a room arranged for the two of you to have your discussion then. Hilda, if you would. Certainly, Your Majesty.
This might be my favorite one so far. Holy shit, this door's great. Whoa. This is exactly what I wanted too. So who is this bitch that's probably gonna be fucking significant later, right?
It's obvious that Her Majesty is quite the tea fancier. The splendor's anything to go by. The fragrance, the temperature, the taste. I'd be hard-pressed to find fault with any of it. I've always been more of a coffee man myself, but I have no doubt that I'd be content with a cup of this at my desk each morning.
As much as I agree with you, I don't believe we're here to talk about beverages. So, shall we get right to the point? What did you want to discuss with me?
I see your sojourn in Liberl has proven most fruitful.
Pardon?
When we last spoke, you struck me as a bright, flexible young man. And no doubt you still are. But now, I see in you a resilient inner strength girding those aspects. I'm sure His Majesty will be most delighted with your personal development.
Meanwhile, I see you're the same fearless man I've always known you to be. More so, even. That crushing awe about you seems to only have grown with time. It's as if you feed on the resentment of those who live in the territories you annex.
Such harsh words, Your Highness. Personally, I prefer the term political unification. Annex can carry such negative connotations, you know. Since the end of the 100 Days' War, our army hasn't committed a single act of aggression. All our unifications have been entirely peaceful.
Oh, you're quite right about that. On the surface.
Oh?
It's amazing how similar the annexation process is every single time it happens. It starts with a small nation or independent state with an array of problems beyond repair. Those problems start to worsen, after which Jaegers and other dangerous elements enter, plunging public order to an all-time low. Desperate for a solution, the local government requests the help of the Imperial Army. Before they know it, they're part of the Empire.
Well, it's not as though I can deny what you're saying. Each instance does share certain commonalities. Still, it's to be expected, an inevitable consequence of the age of unchecked growth and progress in which we live. The Imperial Army is simply acting in the Empire's best interest, helping to stabilize our neighbors for the good of the Empire.
And it's understandable that they would. I do find myself rather curious why Intelligence Division's members are going to such nations with such peculiar frequency. Well, before the problems I described worsen, no less.
I won't press as to where you came by such information, as curious as I am. But I will say this. At its most basic level, these actions are about risk management. It's because we've been acting to minimize such risks beforehand that the army has been able to successfully quell each problem in turn.
With the small price of earning the disdain of the people in those nations and an increased risk of terrorism in exchange. To tell you the truth, I'm rather astounded you had the courage to come here to Laburl all on your own to begin with. After all, you made yourself the biggest target for terrorists in all of Erebonia. Your concern is touching, Your Highness. I would ask you not to trouble yourself with my safety. I employ some very skilled subordinates, tasked primarily with eliminating the risk of terrorist attacks against me. Really now? That Lecter's one of those, I assume? A rather peculiar fellow, isn't he? But a very useful one all the same. Working out the scheduling for this trip and taking all the necessary precautions to ward off terrorist threats we both were his doing. And thanks to his commendable efforts, I can depart for Crossbill free from worries as soon as I finish my business here. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna be seeing this bitch next game. He's gonna probably be like a big major force. And Lecter was the one that made sure that people have been staying away, huh? So the capable he is. Crossbill? Are you surprised? I'll be participating in a top-secret discussion with a representative of the Crossbill government. Recently, a large amount of funding has been flowing into the country through Republican channels, putting our allies on the defensive. I'd always meant to visit at some point. This seemed the perfect opportunity. Are you out of your mind? Crossbill is full of enemies and different factions at each other's throats. I hear it's now even a hotbed for terrorists and criminal organizations because of its position as a buffer state. Does that really sound like a place the Erebonian chancellor should be going, even on an unofficial visit? I'm surprised to hear you advocating caution in the face of potential danger, Your Highness. After all, it was you who flew on to an ancient city, at great risk to your own safety, and returned unharmed after surveying it. Compared to such rousing risk-taking, my visit to Crossbill will be child's play. As I'm sure you're aware, you're regarded as something of a hero back in Erebonia now. To see a hero make a grand return befitting his newly minted legend, and aboard the famous Arsai, no less. Naturally, our hero has also taken the time to ensure that every well-known newspaper and magazine are aware of his homecoming, too. No, I have no doubts that your triumphant arrival will be every bit as glorious as it is played out in your imaginings, Your Highness. Ooh. Oh, wow. He's already like fully aware of what Olivier's doing. Do be sure to capitalize on this chance as best you can to build yourself a firm foothold. I expect great things from you, after all. Lecter here. Scream! Of course! Scream! Of course, Chloe would be like, hey, I know you. Scream! Hey, buddy! You haven't changed a bit, huh? Scream! Yeah, uh-huh. Scream! Uh-huh, what else? Damn! She had that fat of an ass? Wow. Scream! Wow, I wish you could have been there for that. Scream! Really? Sounds like a ton's happened, huh? But it's nice to see you and your master are doing all right. Scream!
Lecter?
Well, good day to you, Your Highness. I pray I'm not causing any trouble by taking a tour of the castle like this. The view from this terrace certainly is beautiful, isn't it?
What happened to you, Lecter? How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne?
Huh? I'm sorry. I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. Are you perchance mistaking me for someone else?
Your name is Lecter Arundel. You were the student council president at Janus World Academy, which you attended before leaving suddenly 2 years ago. So no, I'm not mistaking you for someone else.
But that's where you're wrong, because my name is actually Lecter Arundel. I could sort of see how our names would become mixed up, however. They are scarily close. Still, now you know. Please, just call me Lech.
Or what do you call Lech or Lek? It's Lecter, but maybe Lech?
Just call me Lech.
It's probably Lech.
Don't try and joke around with me, Lecter. Do you have any idea how worried all of us were when you just disappeared without a word? You submitted your notice to leave the academy and then were never seen again. Even the otherwise calm Leo let out a cry of anger when he found out. And all Lucy could do was give a sad smile and say, "This is just like him," the whole time with tears in her eyes. Jill and Hans were heartbroken, and so was I. Yet after all that, after all this time, you finally show yourself, knowing full well that I'm here. And this is how you act? By pretending you're someone else? Lecter!
Sorry. No need for the scary glare. You're still taking things way too seriously. Looks like it'll take more than stepping up as crowned princess to change that part of you.
Oh.
But you know, seeing you makes me feel kind of relieved. I always figured if someone like you became crown princess, you'd have virtually no freedom to do anything other than work. But from all that was reached my ears, it sounds like you're actually doing all right for yourself. And you even made some great new friends after I left the academy, didn't you? Nice!
I sure did. Nonetheless, thanks to you that I was able to change it all. You were the one who gave me the first push in the right direction. Never got the chance to thank you properly after you left. But all this time, I've always been grateful to you.
Well, consider me honored. Do I get a kiss in return?
You do not. I may feel respect towards you, but nothing romantic.
That's a bummer. There was me, all taken in by how pretty you become, wondering if this could be the start of something downright magical. And what happens instead? My dreams of romance and sweet smooches are crushed to nothing before they can even begin.
I know you don't mean a word of that, you know. You're looking very sharp yourself, though. It's surprising to see. Every time I have seen you before today, it was in that heavily frayed uniform worn in the most sloppy way imaginable.
I think you'll find I was merely making a fashion statement. That wasn't laziness or slobbishness. Every part of it was carefully calculated and considered to have maximum effect.
The scary thing is, I actually believe you. You always seemed as if you cared for nothing but having fun and causing trouble. Yet when it came down to it, you were wise beyond your years. And I finally seen part of the reason behind that today. I'll ask you again, Lecter. How did you end up working for Chancellor Osborne like this? Just what happened to you between you submitting your notice to leave the academy and now?
Oh, we're not gonna hear any of it? Do you now? I have to admit, I never imagined that would be the case. On the contrary, I was expecting you to tell me to back off.
Oh, Adios forbid. What reason would I have to suggest a thing? After all, at the end of the day, our positions are functionally the same.
I'm not sure I understand.
Do you not think so? Personally, I find it difficult to believe that you would not harbor some hatred towards Erebonia as it is today. A grand empire clinging to the glories of a bygone era, ruled by the nobility and shackled by meaningless conventions. Am I wrong? People call me the blood-denying chancellor as though I hold the whole of Erebonia in the palm of my hand. But in reality, my position is far more tenuous. I have supporters and allies in the capital, certainly, but outside its walls, the nobility holds far more sway than any of them. And while it is true I hold a great amount of power in the form of the Imperial Army, even then, I only truly command about 70% of it. The remainder is loyal to the nobility, who also maintain their own private armies. With those factored in, my advantage shrinks substantially. So you see, I'm still very much in the midst of a battle to truly exert control.
Which is why you're building railways all over the country to expand your area of influence. And you've been annexing new territory to that same end.
As I've long thought, you clearly understand me better than anyone else. That is why I'll say this once again. Work with me, Your Highness. With your support, our nation will be able to bring about real reform faster than ever. The noble faction, bloated with its centuries of decadence, get me stopped before they even have a chance to unify against us. Surely that's what you desire more than anything.
Let me just ask a simple question, Chancellor. What connection do you have with Ouroboros?
I'm afraid I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I will say this, however. I'm a firm believer in using every resource at my disposal in the name of achieving reform. That's why I believe in handling politics.
I see. Well, it certainly does seem as though we would see eye to eye in many ways. And that's all the more reason why I'm afraid I must refuse your offer.
Is that so?
Yes, I find it difficult to like the rotten noble faction that exists in the Empire. Or, perhaps you're right that hate is the more appropriate word. But my feelings of fear towards your methods are far greater than my feelings of hatred towards the nobles. What you seem to be doing is trying to compel Erebonians with a delusive utopia to whip them into an enthusiastic frenzy. No doubt by successfully convincing the people, the old guard will fail into the metaphorical firestorm created. And yet by then, the gears will have already begun churning. There will be no satisfying a roused populace with a thirst for revolution. The storm will just keep growing larger and more ravenous, engulfing anything and everything in its wake. You know this, don't you, Chancellor?
But of course! After all, that's what I intend to happen. It's the first stage of my reforms. I'd be more than happy to share further details with you if you were to decide to work with me, Your Highness. In the meantime, I wish you well in strengthening your foothold back in the Empire. Of course, if that's your intention, you'll find it a necessity to work with those nobles you so despise.
You truly do see through everything, don't you?
Well, that sounds like the noon bell. The airship should be arriving shortly. Which means it's time for me to take my leave, I'm afraid. I look forward to seeing you again in the capital in 2 weeks' time.
I take it the discussion is over then. What's wrong? You look awfully tired.
Oh, nothing. I'm just feeling awed anew at what a monster I decided to pick a fight with. Oh, we do get this conversation good.
Oopsie. I think it's probably about time for the airship to arrive. I'm gonna have to stop you there and get going.
What?
See ya, Sieg. Next time I see you, I'll bring you some Erebonia salami as a souvenir, okay? Scream!
Wait! Are you planning to just disappear without telling me anything a second time?
Oh, got an important question for you. Did you fall in love with someone while I was away? Hit the nail on the head, huh? Ah, it's so cute. First love, right? How's it feel? Heart all aflutter one minute, end of the world the next?
Don't you dare start teasing me. But you're right, though. I did. He rejected me in this very spot not that long ago.
Wait, you're joking, right? There's a coincidence I didn't see coming.
I'm not so sure about that.
Because he just got rejected, right?
It feels like you know everything sometimes.
I'm not some kind of all-knowing, all-seeing divinity. That's what makes the world so interesting to me.
Oh,
Is he kissing her head? I'm happy for you, Chloe. Knowing the pain of lost love's what makes a girl blossom, in my humble opinion. Do you feel like the whole experience let you get a step closer to the person you want to be?
well. What about you? Do you feel you're going closer to becoming the person that you want to be? By being at the Chancellor's side?
Kinda hard to do that when I don't have a person I want to be to begin with. I'm just sticking with him because it feels like it'll be fun. That's all. I've been doing this since before I joined the academy, in fact.
You have?
Really now?
That prince is proving surprisingly capable, but he still isn't a match for the chancellor. Tell him to watch his back, all right? So that he doesn't get swallowed up by that monster after he gets tired of dancing.
That's an interesting character, bro. They're definitely setting up some interesting shit with him.
Goodbye, Lecter.
Very mysterious dude, right?
Ding dong! Thank you all for waiting. The Calabria International Airliner bound for the Principality of Remiferia will be departing momentarily.
It's interesting that because Lecter even described him as a monster too.
Please mind your footing when boarding.
He's definitely got his own agenda of some kind. It's just gonna be fun, right? He's got his own reasons for doing this. We'll find out one day. Probably see you in the next games, dickhead.
So that was the Blood and Iron Chancellor. I can't believe he actually went out of his way to use a civilian airship when he probably has a private one of his own. I'd heard rumors about how out of the ordinary he is, but he lives up to all of them.
He keeps me on my toes, to put it playfully enough. Him aside, thanks for all coming this way to see me off, Shira.
I was lucky I just happened to have business here at the right time. Feels like this is going to be the last chance we get to see one another for a while, after all.
Rather unfortunate, as my dream is, and always was, to live away my days on the lap of luxury, surrounded by women as beautiful as you.
Well, good luck with that. Changing the subject, though, who was the young man at the Chancellor's side? He didn't strike me as your ordinary guy.
Oh, you could tell.
But of course, I say I'm used to running into people who are out of the ordinary at this point. We've sure fought enough of them.
His name's Lecter Arundel. He's a secretary who was sent here by the Imperial government. Apparently, he was the one who planned out all of the details of the Chancellor's visit to Liberl. I can't pretend to know much regarding his background, but he's exceptionally skilled at what he does.
Actually, I know a little. What? Oh,
Is that true?
yes.
Lottie explained that Lecter once attended the same academy as her and had served as its student council president. She also mentioned that his sudden disappearance after the Academy Festival 2 years ago.
Unbelievable.
Then,
Someone connected to the Chancellor had visited Liberl first. Then he's very likely to have had his own veritable information network established here long before I even came up with the idea.
I think it's safe for us to assume that that's the case, which also means that it's safe to assume he knows every detail about all that's happened here since. From the coup d'etat to the crisis regarding the Oriole, all of it.
this man gets more unbelievable by the minute. He actually gave me a message to pass on to you earlier, too. Watch your back, so you don't get swallowed up by that monster even when you get tired of dancing.
He sure knows how to sting where it hurts, doesn't he? I feel like I can see a whole new world of pleasure opening up before my eyes. He should know better. Getting outdone at every turn like this is really not my style.
What do you mean?
Captain Swartz, I have a little favor I'd like to ask for when I'm in the air. Oh god. I'm gonna fucking play some cheesy music or some shit when he comes in.
Can't stop me now!
Are they gonna go flying past them or something?
I'm rather impressed with how Prince Oliver has come along. No matter how he chooses to act from here on, he will have his uses to be certain.
You would say that, given that you think of everyone as your pawns. There's me, the prince, a society. Indeed! And I am much the same. We are but pawns on the vast game board that is the Empire. We're thrilled like no other will take place. But it's because you, too, wish to see how that game plays out that you've chosen to stand with me, is it not? Well, hey, what can I say? Just don't forget that this piece right here might not be a loyal forever. And such a betrayal would be perfectly fine by me. Or did you honestly think I'd never considered the possibility it may happen? Just thought I'd come out and say it. How are the other Ironbloods doing, by the way? They're all doing very well by the sound of it. At the rate things are going, there's a chance all of the prince's efforts will be for naught. Perhaps I ought to hold back on him a little. You sure don't pull any punches, do you? Oh, you know something? I wouldn't write him off so easily if I were in your shoes. What? Hey, fuckface!
He flips him off.
Suck my dick! What?
To you, my friend.
Behold! The fuck are these? These look like rose petals?
Ding dong! If you look out the window on the right-hand side of the airship, you'll see the famous high-speed cruiser, the R-Side. We're informed that it's on its way to the Imperial capital with Prince Oliver to the Erebonia Empire on board. But he's also given us a message to relay to all the passengers on board today. I give thanks to Adios for the good fortune to have been able to meet you today. May your journey be filled with beautiful roses and her blessings. And of course, may your journey to your homes be a safe and pleasant one. That marks the end of his message.
This beautiful man.
See ya, bitch! Woo! Ain't never gonna die! Suck, suck, suck my ball! I never thought there was a bigger dumbass in this world than me, and yet here we are. Very well, debaucherous prince. I look forward to seeing what you can do. Show me how long you can hold out against me.
Well, that was the best fucking door in the game by an absolute country mile. Holy dumb shit. Oh my God, that was everything I wanted and more, dude. Holy crap. I was like, man, I really hope this gives you a nice little inside look into some of the Erebonia's politics. Just seeing when Olivier Truiz talks to people, behind the scenes and stuff. I get some of that sweet Olivier, like insane intelligence that I know he has. And oh my God, I got so much more. We're going to see Lecter again. We got to basically see probably the next big baddie, who's pretty awesome too. And I also got Divine Eye. What a good day today is. Is that the good one? What's Divine Eye? That's the fucking, oh, that's actually the best one. That's the one I was like waiting for. Sent Eagle Eye Information Septian Vein Fortune. Oh, it's, wow. It was the best door in the game and I got one of the best Septiums in the game right off the bat. I'm a fucking god. God damn, that was, wow. Holy crap. That was so good. That was just great. That got me so much more excited for shit in the next game. Oh my god damn, man. That was awesome. I'm so impressed by that one. Fuck me, man. Yeah, that's just the best door. That was easily the best door. That's the kind of shit I've been wanting to see, man. So that really like gets me fucking amped for shit that's gonna happen later in the story here. Everything else we've seen at this point felt very like, this is nice, this is cute and sweet, I'm enjoying it. And I like it and nice, but this is the one that I felt, oh no, this one feels like you need to see this shit, right? This is the one that actually felt like that made this game feel important, Aside from obviously what's happening with Kevin and now potentially with Ren as well. Fuck me, dude. Wow. Where the hell was that door my whole life? God damn. All right, guys, I think this is probably a good spot to end things here for now. I'm going to end on that fucking insanely high note. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode as much as I fucking did. If you did, please leave a like and a favorite. It really does help me out. And subscribe if you're not already. Become a picky penguin aboard the SLP, where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy.